An NBA insider has dropped a jaw-dropping report on the New York Knicks in regards to their head coaching search, and on top of that, all of the reasons for the move that they have planned, including their trade plans that do involve one of basketball's best players in Giannis Antetokounmpo as well. We have a lot to go over, guys. What's up? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. Guys, if you're a part of that 74% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, make sure to subscribe for daily videos like this. We have a bunch of great content coming out. You do not want to miss out on any of the good videos that we have. The offseason is upon us, and there has been a bunch of news stories, and we are not going to miss a beat on them. We're also going to have TikToks and YouTube Shorts and stuff like that as well, which are also fun. But let's jump into the video. There's a lot to go over. As we know, Leon Rose is being very diligent with the head coaching search after firing Tom Thibodeau, and because of that, what we have seen is a multitude of names come up. The most common one has been Johnny Bryant, who I've talked about in approximately 578 videos over the last week. So we're not really going to talk about Johnny Bryant this video. I love Johnny Bryant. I do still think he is going to be the head coach of the Knicks when it's all said and done. However, now more reports are showing that this is a very deep coaching search, and one of the names at the forefront of all of this is none other than Mavericks head coach Jason Kidd. Now, there's going to be a lot of stipulations in order for this to happen. However, Jason Kidd and the New York Knicks look like they have mutual interest, and Marc Stein broke down a ton of the Jason Kidd news. Now, it was mentioned by Stein that the New York Knicks are expected to formally request permission to speak to the Dallas Mavericks' Jason Kidd about their coaching vacancy in the coming days. And on top of that, Jason Kidd is believed to be at the top of New York's wish list for the Knicks' vacant head coach position by some in NBA coaching circles. Again, from what I know, I still believe it is Johnny Bryant from everything I've heard. However, Jason Kidd is taking this by storm. Now, it didn't take long for Mavericks Reddit to take over and just start discussing this. And they said the only reason they let him go is because Reddit says so. Otherwise, it's a no-brainer. You keep him. People agree. Someone said too bad they can't hire his dad first. That would probably seal the deal, in a reference to Jalen and Rick Brunson. Someone saying, why would Dallas say yes? And if the Knicks overpaid like crazy and effectively offered Jason Kidd a monster deal, then things could happen. Well, here's the thing about the New York Knicks offering Jason Kidd a potential monster deal. We know Kidd would take it, because something that we know about Jason Kidd is that he left the Mavericks for the Knicks once before. He finished his NBA career by playing for the New York Knicks, a team he had never played for until his final season in the NBA. He had a bunch of some awesome moments with the Knicks in that 2012-2013 season, including an end-1-3 against the Brooklyn Nets, the team he would go on to coach the following year. And on top of that, he hit that three-quarter court shot, which was also just so awesome to watch. So Jason Kidd, he only played that 1 year with the Knicks, but he was a veteran point guard who Knicks fans love to have. He came off the bench for them and gave them a lot of solid minutes, as well as being a good leader for that team. They obviously made the second round before losing to, wouldn't you know it, the Indiana Pacers, because who else did they lose to? And on top of that, what we've seen is Jason Kidd show some interest in this deal thus far. Now, on top of all this, we have seen a bunch of other reports come out as well in regards to all of this, as it was mentioned by Marc Stein that a precise hierarchy of the potential Knicks targets to replace Thibodeau has yet to emerge, but some in-league coaching circles believe that Kidd, who gave Knicks star guard Jalen Brunson his first role of prominence in the NBA during their one season together in Dallas in the 2021-2022, is at the top of their list. And as Brunson said, the relationship between me and J. Kidd that we have is very unique. First thing he told me when I met him, we got to get you paid. And he did that. Now, Jason Kidd also went on to say positively about Jalen Brunson that he loves bruising Brunson, as he put him, and said that he was super happy to see Brunson get paid and to run his own team. And Kidd and Brunson do have a very special relationship, and because of that, it's one of the reasons why Jalen Brunson could help sway it. Jason Kidd was brought in to coach Luka Doncic and, to a lesser extent, Jalen Brunson, and now both of them are gone. Kidd was not someone who was thrilled about this Luka Doncic trade. He did not want it to happen, like basically anyone who follows the Mavericks who has any semblance of a brain. So all of that kind of led to the situation where we're at now, with Jason Kidd coming into this situation and kind of potentially wanting to leave the Mavericks for the Knicks if it can be pulled off. Now, we've seen Jason Kidd coach the Brooklyn Nets, the Milwaukee Bucks, be the lead assistant for the Los Angeles Lakers when they won an NBA title before getting hired by the Dallas Mavericks as their head coach. Kidd was widely well regarded with the Lakers as an assistant coach, coached the Bucks for multiple years, coached the Nets for that one season in 2013-2014, and then left for Milwaukee. After that, we've seen him with now Dallas for 4 years. In this time, Kidd is 362 and 339. He's got a 516 win percentage. Things have been good for Jason Kidd thus far. And because of that, you definitely do start to think about how this all does have a good impact on what we could potentially be seeing for the New York Knicks. He's been a successful coach. He's gotten to the NBA Finals. And yeah, he's bounced around on a few different teams, but at the same time, he's had success everywhere he's went. The teams that he's went to, they've all made the playoffs at some point. Jason Kidd was the coach to get the Bucks out of the dirt. They got that 6th seed, and people kind of made fun of them because they had confetti blow after they won that one playoff game, and everyone's like, they're acting like they won the finals. But what ended up happening, the man who Jason Kidd helped develop, and none other than Giannis Antetokounmpo, ended up going on to win the NBA Finals. Now, not with Kidd, it was with Mike Budenholzer. But at the same time, you look at things and you see the Jason Kidd thing. You know that Jason Kidd and Giannis are very close. And now here we are back in the Giannis Antetokounmpo trade discussions once again, because we know that this pairing together, we know that the Knicks like to make pairings like this. This is nothing new. Leon Rose has been diligent, and he's very always about the relationships, the connections. The Nova Knicks, before that there was the Kentucky connection. There was that brief time when they tried to get RJ Barrett, Cameron Reddish, and Zion Williamson, but eventually decided that wasn't the move and kind of shifted gears a bit. Went towards that Nova Knicks and Kentucky connection as well. So it kind of, now we're looking at this team that has these 3 Villanova guys. Jay Wright was involved in the head coaching search, but now there's another connection. You bring in Jason Kidd, who has a connection to Jalen Brunson, and on top of that, he'd be a good coach for this team. They're an offensively based team. Kidd's a good offensive coach, and on top of that, the friendship with Giannis has a big impact on things because Jason Kidd can help lure Giannis to kind of saying, hey, Milwaukee, I want to be traded to the New York Knicks. That is where I want to go. So it does become interesting. Kidd's a guy who's been always in the top 10 for Coach of the Year voting, or not always, but a lot of seasons he spent in the top 10 of Coach of the Year voting. Come very close to winning it in the 2014-15 season, coaching the Bucks back to the playoffs. So, again, well-regarded around the league. He's a good coach to have, and Jalen Brunson broke out under him. I mean, that series against the Utah Jazz when Luka Doncic missed 3 games is where we finally, or first saw Jalen Brunson become Jalen Brunson. He put up 28 points, 4.5, or nearly 5 rebounds, and 4 assists in that 6-game series against the Utah Jazz. It was the first time we saw Jalen Brunson really break out, become Jalen Brunson, and he's the guy now that we all know and adore in New York, and we know that Kidd knows how to coach him because Kidd was coaching him when Brunson was the lead catalyst for a Dallas Mavericks team that upset Donovan Mitchell and the Utah Jazz. So all of this is good signs if you are a New York Knicks fan because the connections do help. We know it's worked in the past. And as Tim McMahon mentioned, listen, one of the names that's been thrown out there is a man who's under contract with another team, but definitely a guy who has relationships with not just Jalen Brunson, with a lot of people in that organization, and that's Jason Kidd. And what I will say about that is I would not dismiss that possibility. And Sam Quinn said, my position on Jason Kidd to the Knicks is that it absolutely makes sense if he and Giannis are trying to back-channel their way to a big market reunion. But if they're just hiring him for this roster, I'd probably pass. That's the thing. What we're likely looking at is the Knicks trying to get more and more leverage to not force Giannis' hand per se, because that makes it seem like Giannis wouldn't want to go to the Knicks. And I believe, and I'm not saying I'm 100% right, but if Giannis could pick what his next team would be, I would bet my money that it's the New York Knicks. The Knicks are a team that Giannis would fit in well on. He could step in. Him and Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson together would be one of the best big threes basketball seen in a very, very, very long time. They would instantly become the favorites to win the NBA Finals. They would still have to figure out that bench situation. You're likely giving up Mitchell Robinson, OG Anunoby, potentially Josh Hart, definitely Deuce McBride, all your draft capital you have. So if you want to do that, you're going to have to figure out your bench situation, and that's going to be difficult. Or you end up trading Giannis, or you trade for Giannis by trading Karl-Anthony Towns, something that if you're the Knicks, you still have to do because it's Giannis. He's just better than Towns. So then you figure out the rest of the situation after. However, it's very clearly one of the reasons the Knicks have interest in Jason Kidd is to spark Giannis's interest because it gives it a better chance that Giannis goes, okay, I want to be traded and I will only go and play for the New York Knicks. And if Giannis can force his hand and force his way to New York, then he is going to do that. Now, the Bucks might say, screw it, we are not just letting you walk to a team for a worse package, but it could also happen, and that is why the Knicks also have interest in Kidd, outside of the fact that they do believe the connection with Brunson and the fact that Jason Kidd is good at maximizing benches is something that people are going to like, and that is going to work for the New York Knicks more importantly. But guys, what do you think is going to happen? Should the Knicks go after Jason Kidd? Should Should they go after Jason Kidd if they're not going for Giannis? Leave all your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for the continued support. We're closing in on 17,000 subscribers, guys. We are cooking right now. Let's keep it up. Let's keep all this love going. We also now have channel members as well. So if you want to join that, feel free to. You'll have input on videos that are being made. You'll get to hear. We're going to do a lot for that. We don't have all the rewards set up yet, but we're going to basically do some Zoom calls with the top guys. If you have one of those higher up memberships, you will get on Zooms. You will be on live streams on Knicks Digest. You'll get to join the happy hour show for a couple minutes. You can say your piece. We'll break it down. We'll have a bunch of fun. You'll get access to like specific Discord memberships and stuff. It's going to be a really fun time. So if you're interested, feel free to join. If you're not, completely fine. But maybe subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Guys, thank you so much for everything. I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day, and go Knicks.